What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today we're going to talk about the next stimulus package. Now, there's some really good news. Yesterday, Senator Chris Coons from Delaware, he was interviewed on ABC, and he brought up some interesting stuff. He talked about the stimulus package. He talked about the strategy going forward. And so I'm going to show you the clip. We're going to talk a little bit about it. And we have to face the facts now. We have President-elect Biden. He's going to start setting up his plan for another stimulus package. And so that's what we're going to take a look at today. If you guys can do me a favor, please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification that we'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And we're going to be putting out videos on a daily basis. We have a lot of stimulus stuff that we're going to be talking about because we're going to start hearing different talk. We have now Mitch McConnell taking the lead. The White House is going to kind of step back now because they're focused on other things as far as the courts and the election. And so now Mitch McConnell is going to step up. Hopefully he's going to step up and start working with Nancy Pelosi and the other Democrats, Chuck Schumer, to try to see if we can get something done right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at the clip. And then what we're going to talk about, I'll actually probably be talking as we watch it. So let's go ahead and take a look.
You just heard President-elect Biden talk about that mandate for cooperation. Put some meat on those bones. What's the first piece of legislation? Can the president get what he wants from a closely divided Senate? And you just heard Ram, Yvette, and Heidi out there talk. You see the difficulties of unifying the Democratic Party as well.
Well, George, thanks for a chance to be on. It was an electric night last night, and the joy that I saw both here in Wilmington and across the country reflects the optimism that we will be able to come together and deliver the relief that the American people need and deserve from this pandemic. I think that Joe Biden, as president-elect, and forgive me, it still makes me smile just to say that, that Joe is going to be able to pull together leaders in Congress to deliver the relief that we need and deserve. And one way that President Trump can show some graciousness in the next 73 days during the transition is to publicly support a significant pandemic relief bill. We've had record new cases all this past week. It's past time for us to come together and deliver the relief the American people are waiting for.
Are you concerned at all that if a smaller package is passed during the lame duck session, it will make it more difficult to pass the kind of bold package that President-elect Biden would like to pass once he is president?
Well, frankly, the only way we're going to pass a big or bold package, either in the transition period or in the coming year, is with bipartisan support. So I expect that we'll hear from Vice President-elect Harris and from President-elect Biden outreach to Republican Senate leaders, as well as to members of the House and Senate, governors, and to the administration. I don't think that passing something that is strong now undermines the opportunity to pass something broader. We frankly don't know where this pandemic's going right now, but it's not going in a good direction. Joe will be announcing his pandemic response plan and team in more detail tomorrow, because he's getting ready to act as president on January 20th.
All right, so he said some interesting things there. So the first thing he said is he doesn't think there's a problem with doing something strong now and then doing another package later. And so that's good. That's good to hear. At least we know that they could focus on something now before the end of the year and then have something else to focus on when Joe Biden actually becomes president. Now, Chris Coons saying this is good because now he's giving Nancy Pelosi a little bit of cover so she can work on a deal with Mitch McConnell, maybe a smaller package now, and then have something larger when Joe Biden comes into office. And so when I look at this, I'm happy to hear this. I'm happy to hear that they want to work on something now and then in the future do another package. So we could potentially see, let's hope that stimulus checks would be in this first package, and then later down the road, we might be looking at a stronger package somewhere in February or March. So this is good news to hear that Chris Coons is talking like this.
How critical are those Georgia runoffs to enacting the Biden agenda?
Well, there's 4 different Senate races that are not yet called, and as you've pointed out, there's 2 runoffs in early January, and all eyes will be on those seats because they'll determine control of the Senate. But I'll remind you, Joe Biden just won a commanding majority across the country in the Electoral College. If we'd seen all of those states come in on one night at the same time, we'd be remarking on how all over the country from states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, to states that Democrats haven't won in decades, like Georgia and Arizona. Joe Biden won 75 million votes in the popular vote, and he's got, I think, a mandate to bring us together and move us forward. I think the American people have chosen unity over division and hope over fear, and that gives me optimism about what we can do in the months ahead.
You've been mentioned as a possible Secretary of State in a Biden administration. Are you interested, number one? And can the president-elect afford to, in a closely divided Senate, have senators join his cabinet and face the possibility, at least, of special elections in the future?
Well, I was just reelected to the Senate from Delaware and very much look forward to serving the people of Delaware, hopefully by delivering some progress towards bipartisanship on a Harris-Biden agenda. But if asked, I'd be honored to serve. Joe is someone who's long been a leader in foreign policy. I've served on the Foreign Relations Committee a decade, and there's a lot of hard work for us to do to re-engage with the world and restore our place of leadership on the world stage.
Your GOP colleague from Missouri, Roy Blunt, is up next. What's your message to him and other Republicans who still haven't acknowledged the president-elect's victory?
Well, I thought former Governor Christie's message in your roundtable was an important one. If Republicans are going to support President Trump in his resistance to accepting the outcome of the election, the president needs to show some facts, not just angry tweets. Senator Blunt and I have worked well together on a wide range of issues, from national service to behavioral health. He's someone, although a strong and committed conservative, knows how to work across the aisle and deliver results for his state and for our country. I'm hopeful we can rekindle that spirit of working across the aisle in the coming Congress.
All right. So there was Chris Coons. Senator Chris Coons is very polished. He's a very polished politician. But let's talk a little bit about this. So one thing that they did mention were the two Senate seats in Georgia. So there's going to be a runoff, and this is going to determine who is going to take over control of the Senate. Will it be the Democrats or will it be the Republicans? The Democrats need to win both seats. The Republicans can win just one seat. They can split the seats and they'll still have power. So we're going to have to see what happens with that in January. So January 5th is when that election is. But we also need to look at what's the strategy going forward. So Mitch McConnell, let's just say Mitch McConnell says we're not going to do anything, or he already said he wants to do something now, but let's say nothing gets done until 2021. Well, now you're facing a situation where you might not be in power. Mitch McConnell might not be in power if those two Georgia seats go to the Democrats. So Mitch McConnell might want to put something forward now, because if you wait until 2021, you might not have that opportunity. So I anticipate Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi getting together, trying to work out a deal. And Chris Coons has already indicated that if they have something that's strong now, they can look at something else in 2021. And so that leads me to believe that we should be seeing something this year, before the end of the year. So the only issue that we have right now is the White House. The White House is really not going to be on board for anything because they're focused on other things. They're focused on the election and going through the court procedures. So they're probably not going to be negotiating at this time. Stephen Mnuchin is probably not going to be in the room anymore. We'll just have Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, which ideally that's the way our government should be running anyways. The legislators need to legislate, and they need to be in the room together negotiating a deal. And once they have that, they can send it to the president, and then the president can sign off on it. And so that's the way it should work. It just wasn't working that way over the last 5 months, 6 months, because you had Nancy Pelosi negotiating with Stephen Mnuchin. So Nancy Pelosi negotiating with the White House, and Mitch McConnell was not playing a role. So Mitch McConnell's probably thinking if he can get something done right now, and if he's able to maintain the leadership in the Senate in 2021, then he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to do anything in 2021. That might be his strategy, but we'll have to see how it all plays out. So this is good news. Chris Coons is actually opening the door for Nancy Pelosi to say, okay, let's get something done now, something strong right now, and then we can focus on something else in 2021. Let me know what you guys think about this down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.